Hey guys, recently I saw this video about, I'm seeing a lot of stuff about the AI bubble, and it does have me a bit worried. Um, all these companies like OpenAI and Anthropic, they show a lot of like revenue, but not um, a lot of like profits. It's not very transparent, and it feels like I was kind of sold on the lie in a way. Like, I still have a lot of hope with AI, but not in the current, way they're operating. Like, I don't think large language models are sustainable at scale. Um, they just take up too much energy. People, they take like a bazooka to kill a mouse. It's like, that's what using a large language model for like everything is now. And many companies and many businesses and startups are all talking about AI this, AI that, when they don't realize the cost of compute is way too high, and we're just in this honeymoon period of these companies have money to burn. So, why not just go all in, and then everybody's going to rely on them, and then eventually we'll jack up the prices or something's going to go wrong, and a ton of people who were just riding the wave and didn't actually think about what's next, or invest, or putting too many eggs in one basket. They're just going to be left with their pants down. I saw this thing with Michael Burry, the guy from The Big Short, who like first saw the housing crisis in 2008. And I don't follow him much just normally, but I just like saw something from him, or saw stuff about him today. It was saying he is taking like a huge bet against Nvidia and like all these stuff. Honestly, like it makes me it makes me nervous like a lot, because I'm sort of like all in on AI in a way, but um, I don't think I think Nvidia is in a different place than like these other things, because unless they have like this weird cost structure, which I don't know, they basically hold up the world right now, at least with this AI hype. And even if, AI does change how it is, I guess in that case it would be like, my view is it's going to be more, instead of large language models, it'll be a bunch of small, locally hosted language models that have very specific roles. So that would sort of take away the need for very heavy compute GPUs, except in very specific circumstances. So when I actually think about that, NVIDIA could probably, I mean, it could definitely lose the position it has now, since it's basically just like the solution to these brute forcing methods. All these big companies, they just buy more hardware and buy more GPUs. That's their solution for now, and it's not sustainable. So what happens when they stop buying that? Does that mean Nvidia just dries up? Um, I don't know. Honestly, when I think of it like that, it does seem like maybe I should take my investment out of Nvidia as the stock. But for me, I bought like an actual GPU just because I'm not buying like these enterprise versions, but like it's good to have like a strong um, personal, asset like that. And if it can do stuff for me, like, the downsides are just not big, like it's still fine. But yeah, just feels, I mean, I think it's crazy because this is like the first big bubble I've really been in, maybe. or I guess crypto was around too, but I wasn't like old enough. I wasn't like very knowledgeable about it when I was like 14, 15. So it is interesting. It's like looking at history with it should probably tell us something. It should tell us at least don't, you know, repeat mistakes. It does it like just recently it really felt like it was like I thought it was going to completely change everything. And then to be honest, it did change everything for me. But that's not the case for most people just because they don't really interact with the tools as intimately as I do. Um, and it's a shame because it's very powerful and it's not going to be around like this state forever. I thought that it would be more of a case of these big companies just limiting everybody else and centralizing power, but I think it's more so that like um, it's really not going to be sustainable the way it is right now, and their actual profits are just going to tank. They're going to have to get a bunch of people hooked on it and then try and jack up the prices in order to sort of cover the losses. And then we'll all just be like dependent. If you don't have your own sort of system, you're just going to be renting it on a cloud server or like um, your house or your company. They pay for like a plan for like all of the people who work there, all the employees, and you just use it there just for work or just for like your home, and you have very restrictive access to what you can actually do with it. And yeah, I mean, it's just mm, all I know is that this is kind of a Goldilocks period, and I understood that before, but I didn't really think it was because of the fault of these companies. I thought it was more they planned it all the way. Like I thought they just knew exactly what they were doing and they were playing us like fiddles. But even them, they might not know what they're doing, and in that case, it's kind of different. But yeah, just something to think about. Something I'm thinking about. Thank you.